Alright guys, it's John from 7-Bit Arcade again, and I am joined by James from Made in Japan. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Very good. So, who and or what is Made in Japan?
So, Made in Japan is a four-piece from Sydney, Australia. We're an indie band, kind of play some dream pop stuff. So there's four of us in the band. There's Andrew, who plays bass. Jono and Tom both play guitars, and then I'm the drummer and lead singer.
Right. So how did it all come together? Was it all four of you at the start, or...?
Yeah, basically, there was the four of us at the start. We met at school. A couple of us went to school together. Myself, Jono, and Tom. And then we just kind of, Jono and I started writing some songs together. And while we were writing the songs, we were recording them at the same time, so doing some demos. And then we came along with about 6 demos, and they kind of didn't have any vocals, so I started putting some vocal ideas down. And then we're like, well, what are we going to do now? Like, we need to get a vocalist. And I was writing these vocal ideas, but I wanted to be the drummer, so well, I guess we could just you could just sing and drum. We weren't convinced about it at first, but then we kind of managed to make it work. So it was just us two, and then we got the other 2 guys because we knew them to come and play. So yeah.
Yeah, I know guitarist singers that do both at the same time, but I've never really come across many that drum and sing. How is that when you're on stage?
I've been doing it for a while now. We've been together for a few years, so it's kind of, it's tough because you've got that kind of that physical barrier of the drum kit in front of you in terms of performing. But I guess it's quite a physical instrument as well, so that comes across. But in terms of coordination, it's not too bad because as a drummer, you're used to coordinating all your limbs separately. So adding in the voice wasn't too much of a task.
Just a bit like an extra limb.
Yeah, that's it, pretty much. My voice is an extra arm.
So you guys have got a little bit of a kind of indie vibe to you, like listening to the album that you brought out last year.
Yeah.
But there is that I don't know how to put my finger on it, but there is that sort of what you guys call dream pop.
Yeah.
That sort. I mean, could you describe what dream pop is in essence?
I guess we respect like typical pop structures of music and like good melodies and things like that. So that's the pop element. The dream aspect is kind of is just related to the tones that we like to create. So I guess it's all those really kind of bendy, reverby, kind of spacey tones that kind of create something of a dreamy sound, kind of like how, in one of the influences, kind of like the early shoegaze stuff, like My Bloody Valentine and Slow Dive, and they always had this real knack for creating really warped, kind of spacey, atmospheric guitars, and so we kind of incorporated that into what we wanted to do, and so that's kind of the crux of it. Really, is just that those bendy, spacey kind of guitar sounds that kind of signify the dreaminess. It's like, it's hard to put a finger on, I guess, really, because
as soon as you hear it, you know it.
Yeah, you know what it means. It's like as soon as you hear it, it makes perfect sense. But yeah, it's kind of quite a abstract thing.
Yeah, so you mentioned sort of early, kind of shoegazy sort of stuff. Is that, were they all, you've been listening to them since growing up, or?
Yeah, we've been listening to them for quite a while. Like, they've always been quite an influence on us and the way we kind of create music. I don't know. It's not really. We went through a phase and it kind of defined our sound. These days, we're not trying to be retro. We're not trying to create something like it's overly referential to like a past genre of music, in any shape or form. So we very much listen to other modern bands as well, like Foals and Bombay Bicycle Club, Deer Hunter, all those kind of bands. So,
and do they all kind of lean in a little bit into how you're working on your sound for whatever's coming next? Or?
Yeah, I mean, they all like, we like a lot of new music, so it all contributes, but I guess the main contributing factor is just that it's the four of us like in a room together creating music. That's what happens when the combination of us four, occurs, pretty much.
So you guys are based in Australia?
Yeah.
In Sydney, if I remember right. Is this your first time over in Europe?
Yeah, this is our debut trip to the UK. as a performing band. Both John and myself are actually half English, so we had the British passports and walked straight through the border, which was nice. But yeah, it's our first time here, and it's been really great. It's like the audiences have been great, and we've always felt like our music would be at home here, that people would understand it maybe a bit better than they do at home. Not that they don't understand it, but you know, it kind of taps into a bit of British music history, I think, that people can relate to. So yeah, we're very excited to come over here, and so far the reception's been fantastic.
So the first gig went well when you played with Ron's time then, yeah?
Yeah, it went really well. I mean, we played in London last week, and it was really good. There was a good crowd, and then yeah, we had a really good audience just before a couple of hours ago. Everyone was really enjoying it, so it'll be hopefully third time lucky this evening.
So is there any more dates to come? Are you travelling across Europe or anything at all?
We're doing a bit of a holiday to Berlin, which will be fun, but no more dates yet. It's kind of like a reconnaissance trip, so hopefully we meet a few people and sort some things out, but until then, yeah, we haven't made plans to come back, but we definitely want to as soon as we can.
Just testing the waters at the moment,
That's it.
yeah? Well, I think the waters are responding pretty well,
Yeah,
so...
that's good to know.
Yeah. So you brought out an album last year.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the works at the moment?
Yeah, we've actually finished our second album, which the first album, it was a good experience. We went to a studio and did that whole thing, and then kind of decided to go back to basics. So we actually ended up, like, it's self-recorded and mixed and produced in our home studio in the inner west of Sydney. So we just spent a lot of time rehearsing, a lot of time recording, much more than you could ever do if you were going to pay to go into a studio to make this new one. So we're pretty excited about it. We think that people will hopefully like it and find it as a good progression from where we started. But yeah, that's ready to go. So hopefully it should be like September, October release for that one.
Are you guys releasing it yourself, or have you signed to somebody, or?
We released it independently, the first record, and we can do that as well for this record. But just depends. I mean, we've got an Australian independent distribution deal, so the record gets into all the stores and everything over there, and that's all fine. But we've got to work out what we can do about getting it out over here, I guess, and in Europe.
That's kind of an advantage to things like Great Escape, because there's industry guys everywhere you look.
Yeah.
And hopefully there'll be some watchful eyes appearing at your gig tonight. So
that's it. Well, fingers crossed.
Right, we won't keep you any longer. New album's coming out at some point soon.
Yeah, that's
I'm looking forward to it. I'm quite taken with the first album. And I'll be there tonight. See you guys there. So James from Made in Japan, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.